because it wouldn't allow me to do what I needed to do. So we'll go about it this way. Let me turn this down. I hate that I'm not able to put it on how I wanted to put it on. But on this, we're not gonna go and care about all the likes and stuff like that. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But allow me my due diligence. Welcome to American Alpha Male. Hey, give me a solid if you will. Just comment. So there's this thing in a multitude of communities where they ask what happened to the men. They ask what happened to the men. The men have left the church. Why have the men left the church? When you listen to the modern day Christians, the modern day Muslims, the modern day Catholics, a lot of them are being looked at as though they're supposed to be perfect, which isn't true. So what ends up happening is the women and the men who are the leaders of the church use the words to beat down the man who isn't a part of the congregation as far as in the leadership roles. Fellas notice a lot more. When you come home, you don't want to hear about the spiritual leader telling you how to run your household. He don't pay for nothing here. What? I pay the bills here. I pay the bills here, not him. No offense to your religious figure, but they don't pay the bills there. You pray for good health. You pray for a bevy of things. But you know at the very beginning to the very end of the day, your time, effort, energy, we call it blood, sweat, and tears, are the reasons why bills are paid here. When you go to these religious places and spaces, you go for a refreshment of your spiritual awakening. Not to be told what the hell to do at your house. And then what happens is they'll point to specific of their argument quotes. Well, the Bible said this. Well, the Quran said this. Well, the Torah said this. No. You don't get to come in my house after I left my house and tell me what to do. Ladies do this a lot. Well, you know, the Bible said this. Well, you know, the Bible said that. Well, you know, the Quran said this. Well, you know, the Quran said this. Well, you know, the Quran said this. I mean, the Torah said this. The Torah said that. Or whatever book you refer to. See, these are lessons to live by. To be a Christian is to be what? Christ-like. The problem with that is they never acknowledged Christ was a man who even had a job, who ran with quote-unquote rapscallions, murderers, thieves, and a prostitute. And even Jesus in the Bible, in the Quran, drank wine. Even Muhammad was still a prophet, but yet still a man. Seti Nash is not going to get on here and tell y'all everything about what your religion is supposed to be teaching you and everything like that. That ain't my job. My job is to tell y'all why. Why it is. Because though your religious text is sitting here and giving you a bevy of things to live by, you still are not without flaw. You still are not without fault. So when your flaws and your fault come, it's like you're the only one getting bashed. Ladies, I'm telling you, this is what men are going through. Fellas, we can admit it. This is what we're going through. We are not perfect. And why is it that we're getting bashed when I just seen the religious leader do something that ain't very godlike? When I just seen you, my lady, my woman, my mother, my sister, my auntie, when I just seen you do stuff, and you ain't perfect. So how you gonna use those words and beat me with it when you ain't even living by this? You live it when it's convenient for you. And this is why men are leaving the church. Because at the very end of the day, it doesn't feel like it's for us. It feels like it's a bunch of simps and pimps. Nah, you can't say that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. This seems like to me a bunch of weaklings, a bunch of busters, a bunch of punks, a bunch of chumps who came to con me out of everything that I have worked hard for. I pray, I do to the best of my ability. And you're telling me the best of my ability isn't good enough. Do you understand as a man how that feels? That to the best of my ability, this stuff ain't good enough. But for you, it's perfect. For the religious figurehead, for whatever deity in which you believe in. Do we understand how hypocritical this looks? Do we understand how dumb it looks? That if we decide to do this stuff, it's like we're giving up our manhood. I'm not telling you God is real and I'm not telling you God is fake. I'm not doing that. I'm saying this is the reason why men are leaving religious institutes. Because it seems as though what we do is not good enough. And since it ain't good enough, it can't be accepted. And if you're not accepting me, the only thing you're doing is rejecting me. Do people understand that? Because if you're going to reject me, why the hell am I here? I have no reason to be here with you rejecting me. That doesn't make sense. Why go to a place where I'm not wanted? Regardless of whatever they sit here and they preach. Because if you listen to religious texts, they even say, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, as shall be in the midst of thee. So if I get my brother and my cousin, and we sit here and we talk spirituality or religion, this is the church right here. This is the synagogue right here. This is mass right here. This is the mosque right here. Ladies, you cannot beat your man with religious texts. What you have to do is get on a level of understanding. Amongst the bevy of us, you are taught, oh, no woman will ever, no other race will understand you like a woman from your race. That's not true. This is why divorce rates, before said at the end of the day, in the next 10 years, divorce rates are going to be at 60% once the baby boomers start dying off. So you're going to have a 60% chance of getting into a marriage and getting divorced, which means only 40% of marriages are going to work out. That ain't odds that men want to take up. Men are more logical. This is what's being spread. Women are more emotional. This is why women claim to be empathic. This is why women tend to individualize their struggle, and then they will say certain stereotypes that are good can be spread like wildfire. When they used to say women are stronger than men, women love to do that. Oh, women are stronger than men. But let some weirdo do something crazy and put his hands on a woman, then it's going to be told, where's the men? See, this is why we have to be this way. I'm not saying all women, but the majority. If you fall in that minority, then cool. I appreciate you highly. But the majority, the message is spread. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm strong. I'm independent. Can't no man tell me nothing. I move with how I want to move. Keep your hands off my body. I can dress how I want to dress. That doesn't, I'm not giving any permission to any man that does anything to you. I'm not saying that he's right. He's 1000% wrong. But what I'm telling you is, while you are dressing like that, if you are with a man and he knows how unstable some of these morons are, if he would rather avoid confrontation because he doesn't feel like getting arrested for the next 3 weeks while he clears his name, and in those 3 weeks he's going to lose his job, his credit's going to take a dip, his finances is going to run out because he's going to have to get bail, and eventually he'll beat the case because, yeah, he was Superman. But do you realize those 3 weeks in which were taken from him could have been avoided if you would have listened to his advice? You can step out on a gun range and everybody knows that they're not supposed to shoot. Or you cannot step out on that gun range at all. See, you need a man to lead you because a man is stronger than you physically. You can take all the mental and all this stuff and everything like that, or we bear children and all this stuff and everything like that. But show me the woman who says, I can get punched in the face by a man my same size and everything like that. Take it and say, give me some more. It's not the same because internally you are built to press out babies. So while we sit here and we look, we have to point out certain differences, subtle differences. It doesn't make you weaker. It doesn't make you stronger. It just gives you certain aspects of biology in which you're more built for or which you're not built for. To the second subject. Lessons for men. Let me tell you something. You only have a certain amount of time that you can go out and conquer. Some of y'all, not all of y'all, don't know what you're doing, and nobody told you it's all right that you don't know what you're doing. Because what ends up happening is they don't tell you what to do next. It is perfectly fine to acknowledge a problem. Better than fine to acknowledge a problem. But it's a problem if you allow the problem to persist. If you have no purpose, stay busy. You might bump into it along the way. What do you mean when you say this, Nash? I got you. There are a bevy of men who literally walk around this earth with no purpose. But do you know what they're doing? They're still saying productive. Why do you stay productive? Because it keeps you out of trouble. When they say the idle mind and idle time is the devil's playground, it means you are willing to test things that you should not test, that others should test, and you should look at the lesson. Majority of lessons in life that you have learned actually have not came from you doing. It has came from you watching. I don't care what type of man you say you are, whether you're a Sigma male, whether you're an alpha male, whether you are a dude or boy coming into adulthood. You literally have to stay busy. You have to, for your own sanctity. Fellas, stop taking risks on women who put your freedom at jeopardy. Yeah, she might have the fat this and the fat that and all of this. And yeah, she might look sexually appetizing. But do you realize after the sex is done, you made a mistake? Do you realize that once you are finished with this act right here, that there are more hours in the day that you spend not having sex, and you have to figure it out? When we talk about religion and all these things, do you realize religion actually works out because it gives you purpose? That's why I won't spit on religion at all. I could never be an atheist, because some people need lessons in life and need community to begin to live. Do we realize this? Men who are incels, would you rather not deal with women? And I'll talk about past bros in about 5 minutes. Please remind me if I don't in 5 minutes from now. Do y'all realize that you have to get out and fail? And I get failure is hard. And this is specifically for my incels, my guys who don't want to face the scariest monster on earth, which is a woman's rejection. Because I know the woman's rejection is not a no to what you're saying. It is a no to you, from how you look, to your personality, to what you are. I know the women don't see it as that. They won't ever see it as that, because they don't understand you don't know how to say it the right way. So when you walk up to a woman and you muster all the courage, she don't know how hard it was for you to say hi. All she knows is some guy out of the blue I don't know just came up and asked me for personal information. Now let me ask you this question. If a man was foaming out the mouth, crazily dressed, and asked you, can I have your number and meet you at another time, would you agree to that? No, you wouldn't. See, this is what it looks like from the outer to the woman. Who is this stranger? What does he want? Is it just sex? Women judge within 5 minutes if they will have sex with you. They'll look. Maybe. Because if he's confident up here, he might be confident down there. When they say the damn thing, it's not about the boat, it's about the emotion in the ocean. That means once you get down there, once you get them clothes off, you need to know what the fuck you doing. This is very true. This is very true. This is why confidence works. But this is why competency is everything. There's 4 stages of competency. Think of it as tying your shoes. Don't worry, I'm good with the illustrations. Unconscious incompetence. It means you don't know what's wrong, and there's something wrong. It's like the kid walking around with their shoes untied and never knew what the hell untied shoes was. Until somebody said, hey, your shoes is untied, which is conscious incompetence. Means you know there's a problem, but you don't know how to fix it. Don't worry, because somebody will take the time out to show you how to tie your shoes. This is what becomes conscious competency. Means you know there's a problem, and you know it's a problem, and you know how to fix it, but you got to think about it. So you can fix the problem, but you have to think about it. Then you get to that fourth stage, because I told you it was 4 levels and 4 stages of competency. Unconscious competency. This is for the guy who can sit there, don't even look at his shoes, just start tying his shoes. Boom, 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 without even thinking about it, because he's done it so many times, it's used to him. So when you notice certain men are able to walk up to women and talk to them, and it seems they're not flustered, they have went through the stages that you have went through. But you're looking at it from an aspect of, she rejected me. Well, you're not looking at it as though this is the game of life. You have to level up. I want you to level up in the game. Then you're in control. Now you get to certainly go and do certain things, but nobody's going to tell you a couple of things. Get you 3 fragrances. Get you 3. Matter of fact, I do it this way. Y'all run the likes up. I'm gonna show y'all 3 fragrances that I use. I'm gonna tell you exactly when to use them. You can steal these fragrances. Hold on. I only grab 3. I only grab 3. Right here. This is Jimmy Choo Man. I think it only runs about $100. This right here, Acqua di Gio Giorgio Armani. That's about 120. This right here is Tom Ford Tuscan Leather. This right here, just this little thing right here, this $90. The big bottle is 300 and something. Jimmy Choo Man. This is going to carry you from the afternoon to the evening. You can wear this pretty much every day. There is 5 sprays. I'm going to show you right here. 1 wrist, 1 elbow, chest. Do it again. 1 wrist, 1 elbow. That's it. 5 sprays. That's all you need. That's going to carry you in the morning. When you wake up and you fresh out of that shower, this Acqua di Gio, I remember what you want to say it. This right here is going to carry you from the morning time until the goddamn afternoon. Why do you want different smells? Because you like to smell breakfast during breakfast time. You want to smell it during lunch. You don't want to smell it during dinner. You look at this as though it is a coursed menu, meaning you only eating 3 times a day. My incels and my guys who haven't even thought about this, women love a man who smells good, because what it means is you are groomed. It means that you are groomed, which means you gave a damn. It's better you smell this way. Get a deodorant that is unscented. Get it unscented. Doesn't matter about a bevy of things. Look for the unscented kind. Why? Because if you mix that deodorant with this expensive cologne you just put on, now we don't know what the hell it's smelling. Now you just mess with it. This is the equivalent of barbecue meeting meaning a damn spaghetti sauce. Both are good individually, but when you mix the smells, ain't really that good. So fellas, make sure you get yourself at least 3 fragrances. If you want to wild out, get about 6. Switch it up. Have your weekday smells and then have your weekend smells. Now the Tuscan Leather. This is really what you wear when you're going out. Not going out to party. You go out to party, you keep this one right here. That's why this bottle's so goddamn big. I got like 3 of these. You keep this one and you're going out to party. But when it's serious, when you're going to the movies, when you're going to dinner, because it's not super strong, when she rub up on you and And you got kind of an old man smell a little bit to you. Why do I want an old man smell? Nash, I don't want to be old. Because typically in women's life, they feel protected by the older men. They'll tell you about their uncles. They'll tell you about their grandpas. And if they had a dad, they'll tell you about their dads. They'll talk about the older men who protected them. You are giving them a sense of protection. Nobody will break it down to you like this except me. Because I took those L's. And sometimes she'll want to take your sweater, you put it across her and everything like this. This is called a second date or third date or eventually date. Prop. Yeah, your sweater. Make sure you can take it off and you got something nice. Yeah, this is a polo. Yeah, this kind of expensive a little bit. This is a prop to make sure she'll call you and she'll think about you. So now she'll think while she's laying in her bed, ladies know what I'm talking about. They'll grab that sweater and I wish he was here. Ooh, I wish he was here. You know what? Let me text him real quick. And she might go ahead and say, what you doing? At 1 o'clock in the morning. And you get to play it cool. I ain't doing nothing. Just here watching some Netflix, some Amazon Prime. What you be watching on here? You never give away your position. You just keep them inquired. What you doing? Absolutely. Oh, I'm just doing this. What you doing? Oh, I ain't doing nothing. What made you hit me? You can ask this question, slick. What made you hit me up right about now? Well, I was thinking about what you was saying, and I like that. Oh, yeah? So let me guess. What you want to happen next? Let her lead it. Let her lead it. Let her lead it. A lady will invite you over, play dumb as hell. Now don't come over here thinking you gonna get some. Well, why are you wearing this and you ain't got it tied? Why is it you keep slipping? What you doing? She might even take your hand. Give me a massage. Yeah, they'll lead you. Trust me. Trust me. Women will dominate and lead until they want you to dominate and lead. And you'll know more than ever. It's that first time. Then once you get used to it. And I ain't gonna hold you. Fellas, get your cheat code in before you head over there. Get your cheat code in. That first one, will have her thinking, man, you pop off early if you want to. If she like you enough, she ain't gonna care. If she likes you enough, you ain't gonna care. But if this is your first time, you don't want to pop off early. I'm telling you from experience, trust me. She gonna sit back and go, yeah, I put that on her. She gonna sit back and say she put it on you, absolutely. But if you don't get up for round 2 within the next 20 minutes, she didn't just put it on you, it's you couldn't last. They don't know about that first one. That first one, easy, quick pop. Absolutely. They don't know. They don't study male biology like that. Because if she did, she would jump on that thing with her, you know, she's supposed to jump on there with there and reactivate. Some of them don't know that. Some of them don't know that. They didn't study male biology. It is what it is. So you got to be prepared. Because this is love and war. Yeah, love and war. LOVIN apostrophe war. Love and war. This is one of the games you want to play. And one of the games you better win. Because if you don't in 20 minutes, it's going to be a problem. I'm telling you what I know from experience and what a bunch of men can attest to. Some people don't want to know this because they're afraid. And some people want to know this because they're afraid. See, you can get education and be afraid of it, and then you can get education because you're afraid of it. Note and know the difference. Now, to the passport bros and everything like that, I have no beef with you. I understand what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from, and I get it. And the reason why I'm bringing up passport bros, and you see the title say avoid modern women, is because of this. There is this thing from Kevin Samuels called SIGN, SIGN. A lot of women who do this, you should avoid. Trust and believe. The passport bros, the passport brothers, and everything like that, what they do is they take a brunt of the beatings because they don't want to deal with American women. Why? Because they have convinced themselves that what they can find is overseas. I'm not here to knock it or in another country. I'm not here to knock it at all. I don't hate y'all. I don't disrespect y'all. I don't do anything. Because what happens is you'll see videos that'll pop up and everything like that, especially when you get in this manosphere algorithm. You'll see women try to do these 4 things. They're going to shame them. Oh, you don't need to be doing that. They're going to insult them. They'll call them broke, not knowing that you're going to need at least $15,000 to do what you need to do out there. You can't be broke with $15,000 in your pockets. They're going to guilt them. Oh, your mama is this. Your mama's that. Oh, your mama, you ain't supposed to be doing that because your mother and everything like that. Then they're going to have this so-called need to be right, where they're going to tell you, oh, you know that woman, she just going to use you for your money. She just going to get over here and with a green card and everything like that and use you for your money. Forgetting that right now, as it currently stands, 51% of marriages end in divorce. And over 90% of them are initiated by the woman. And it's not for infidelity. It's not from beatings. None of that stuff. It's because she's not happy. Irreconcilable differences, meaning our minds are no longer meeting. We don't have the same goals. We don't have the same interests. We don't have anything like that. Whoa, bullshit. And then ladies can't understand, why won't he marry me? Why won't he propose to me? Because what does the man get? What does the man get? When the man loses, look at what Kanye West did. And I don't like Kanye West, and I'm not a supporter of Kanye West or anything like that. And I'm not here to debate. I'm just going to speak facts. Kanye West got divorced from a woman who currently, as it stands right now, her net worth is more than his. Kanye West has to pay $1.4 million a year for his kids. Not only that, he bought a house next to his ex-wife's house so that he could see his kids and everything like that. He had to not only give up his house that they bought, but he has to give up the second house. So he gets a whole whopping nothing. I'm trying to understand what the heck is going on. Hold on, y'all. This thing act like, wow, it wasn't even on. That's crazy. Sorry, the power was going to go off on this. I'm wondering what the heck this is plugged up to, but whatever. Yeah, he's giving $200,000 a month, but you can't quantify it. You can't quantify it. You can't quantify it by saying $200,000 a month. When you talk millions, it hits the heart more. Because you talk hundreds of thousands to a person that's a so-called billionaire, it don't sit the right way. It don't get at your heart the right way. But when I say 1.4 million, oh, now that raises some eyeballs. You see what I'm saying? There are many of men who absolutely married for security reasons so that the woman felt secure. So that he made a promise, hey, I'm willing to bet half my stuff that I won't cheat on you and I won't beat on you. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure to take care of a lot of these bills. So I ain't gonna cheat on you, I ain't gonna beat on you, I'm gonna protect for you, I'm gonna provide. All the whole entire time, she never said, oh, and make sure the whole time I'm happy. What? Oh, make sure the whole time I'm not happy. Did I do the math wrong on that? Oh, you're right. It is 2.4 million. You're right. I just had to think about that. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. Kanye West is paying $2.4 million. You are absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. You're right. You're right. Bam Bam, appreciate that, bro. You know, I'm gonna moderate you for that. Because the way you said that. So, ladies, think about that. Fellas think about that. They typically do. I am afraid of you because if you leave, you take more than your fair share. It's one of the things that annoys me about NBA players, NFL players, all these sports figures, because they've been practicing this sport since they were kids. That woman was not there. All the women who say, oh, if LeBron James and his wife break up, she deserve half for what? For what? For having his kids? You don't deserve anything. But what the court will say is this. Well, you gave her a lifestyle, and now once y'all divorce, she's no longer part of that lifestyle, and she's used to that. So you have to make sure that she's accustomed to that lifestyle. She get an ACL sprain? She tear an MCL? Did she get hurt on the basketball court? Do she got to deal with these questions that I have to for no less than 82 games a goddamn season? You see, ladies, with no disrespect in how I say this, modern women are overvalued. Because a lot of modern women come with baggage, pardon me. A lot of baggage. So every woman that will say something stupid like, I got kids, and it should be a blessing that you get to help raise my kids. Let me ask you, what exactly does the man get? Are you going to allow that man to adopt your children, to change your children's name? And on top of that, a majority of women want you to pay for more than what the last dude paid for. When she was younger, didn't have any kids more than likely, and less debt. One of the worst things that happened in recent memory was as a man being reminded that a majority of women love the fuck out of free shit out of the government. We seen this with welfare. Disproportionately, welfare goes to the women. I believe it's 78% of welfare money goes to women. 22% goes to men, aka free stuff from the government. So now it's more free money because I'm entitled to it. No, you should have picked a better degree. Who the fuck told you to get a degree in communications? A useless ass degree. A degree in arts. A useless ass degree. See, the problem with a lot of women that don't understand this, modern women in particular, what y'all don't get is men don't have to suffer your past BS. Men do not have to suffer your past BS. More succinctly, we don't have to suffer you. You're not in shape like you used to be. Sexually, you're not who you used to be. You do something so disrespectful as to say, I'm going to hold it because of the man that hurt me before. So if you catch a guy being on reserve and say, you know what, when we go out, it would be nice if you pay for your own meal. When then they go, well, chivalry says, well, old school way says, you had to pay for this. Wait. You want me to be old school, but you won't be old school. This is the equivalent of getting an old school car for all the perks, but now you want to add shit and wonder why it got devalued. You see, with the old schools, I want to say stuff, but I'd rather say the old school classics, they get depreciated when you add newer stuff to it that was never designed for it. Let me ask you a question for all my old school cats. You ever seen a Cadillac with LEDs? Looks ugly. You ever seen a Cadillac with 24s and 22s instead of the Daytons? It looks ugly. It looks absolutely ugly. And could you sell it for the same price? Hell no. Like the white walls, the Dayton's on there, like how it sit, that sleek goddamn painting. Not all these fangs and all this bullshit and put a spoiler on the back of it and all that. Nah. Ladies, this is what you are doing. Unconsciously incompetence. Now, Houston don't put spoilers. They'll put another tire in the back. They'll put the horns in the front. But that's a Texas thing. See, that's culture. That's different. This is an accepted culture amongst the masses. But you wouldn't tell somebody doing that, you got to do all that and everything like that. But you know, on the inside, we're going to take that engine out and we're going to put a hybrid engine in there and we're going to take the metal from off of there and we're going to add aluminum. I'm cool. I'm going to pass on that. Because if this car has made it 50 years with this strong ass engine, this Big Bertha engine, these hot ass summer nights that I done drove cross country in, if it can survive that, why the hell do I want to change it? See, you can look at that stuff as dependable and durable, and a lot of women will look at you that way. But then you can't turn around to them and say, I need this and I need that to make me dependable and durable. They'll refuse that. And this is why you have to avoid. This is why you have to avoid. Ladies don't realize the most unattractive thing you can say is, I'm strong and independent. I'm a strong, independent woman. Because it articulates to men as, I'm strong in my independence, meaning, why do I need you? What? No, but that's not what I said. No. That's not what you said. That's how I take it. Because if you're saying you're strong and independent, what was the reason for you bringing both those words up? When you're saying you're strong, what is a man typically supposed to do in a relationship? Protect and provide. But you're strong, so you don't need protection. But you're independent, so you don't need a man to provide. See how that works? And then y'all do this crazy thing. And let me tell you, ladies, One of the worst things that y'all ass say. I will be feminine for the right man. Whoo. That is so disrespectful to femininity. That is so disrespectful to femininity. Why? Because if I play devil's advocate and I say something like this, you know, for the right woman, I'd be masculine. You mean you ain't already masculine? How do I know you'll be masculine once I mess with you, once I give it up to you, once I accept you? That means you're going to turn into another person? Ladies, you wouldn't accept that. Because you'd be a fucking fool. You'd be dumb as hell. Men will, your brothers will look at you and say, are you stupid? Did mom drop you on your head? Did dad drop you on your head? Did I drop you on your head? So if a man can't say to you, I be masculine for the right woman, how the fuck do you think men take that when you say I'll be feminine for the right man? You can't turn it on and turn it off. No man is willing to wait for that dumb shit. Because what happens is there are more women than there are men. And a lot of men are leaving. They're leaving. And I'm one of the only ones that's saying, bro, I'm willing to sacrifice time, effort, and energy to find these women, not touch them, to help my men get training so that they understand how the hell to do this and link your asses together. That's what the ultimate goal of this channel is. So if it seems like at times in the future that I'm harsh, or it seems like I deviated a little bit, this is only to bring in the masses. This is exactly what Kevin Samuels wants, and this is exactly what Jordan Peterson wants. But nobody is talking to the men. Nobody speaks our lingo. Nobody. And the men who do, they get destroyed because what the fuck doesn't happen is we never get to criticize women, because even when women criticize women, y'all destroy them. Listen to what Glorilla, however, what you said her name just said. I'm willing to go 50-50 with my man. And I'll be honest with you. I'm more open to a 50-50 relationship with a woman, not because I can't afford it, but because I'm begging female. I don't want it to look like, man, all I'm doing is tricking off and all she doing is reaping the benefits. Because after I see that, after it's disappointment and confusion, then there's anger. And once I'm confused and I'm angry, I gotta lash out. And ain't no telling which way a person might lash out. I might go on a whole streak. I might just really build myself to destroy a bunch of women on the way. And I'm not talking about on no physical shit. I'm talking pure sex and emotion shit. This is what I'm talking about. There are a bunch of men who are out here searching for women. It is 72 people in here. Man, we need 72 likes. We don't have a space to go to complain. We don't have a space to sit here and go, that person just said what I needed to hear. Now, where the hell can I find a woman? There are a lot more men that are ready for relationships, stable relationships, than women care to think about. But unfortunately, y'all get caught up in two bullshit ass things. And you don't realize after a while, those things are going to fade. What are you talking about? I'm talking about looks and I'm talking about sex. Because eventually, after a while, this face is going to wrinkle and that right there ain't going to work no more. Then what do you have? Because as you get older, you can't demand more. This is why, ladies, a lot of y'all won't admit it, but a bunch of y'all can. Hey, you know what? He might be 10 years older than me. He might be 15 years older than me. He might not look as good, but he's stable. I don't have to worry about the bills. You know what? I know what to expect. So even though a lot of y'all are controlling, once you know what to expect, you don't have to worry about control anymore because you know what you're getting. But what you don't realize is you got a lot of competition out there. And while you're looking at this and going, yeah, I'm 35 and he's 50, you do realize there's a 30-year-old out there that's looking at him, that there's a 25-year-old looking at him. And before you go, ew, that's disgusted, and try to shame, insult, guilt, or have a need to be right, what you don't understand is she's willing to get on his program. She's willing to get on his program. The first couple of grades I had in my head, you know, the women that I was dealing with was like, ooh, that's sexy. Because maturation means experience. Experience means longevity, which means stability. Because as you get older, that's what you'll start to crave more. Talk to a lot of women that are 45 and up, and they'll talk to you specifically about stability. Stability. Hypergamy, yeah, dating up. This is why, remember way back when you had the sexy grandpa guy? Because part of that guy is he's not going out trying to chase more tail because he got it all out of his system. So now the time that he was spending all in the club and all that, he won't do that no more because he's going to give the attention to who? You. So the club attention and all the money that he was spending, that's going to go to you. Not even knowing that with that experience, he done dealt with a lot of women like you. He can see you coming from a mile away. And if he lets you taste just a little bit of honey and a little bit of paradise, he got you. And that's when he turned asshole. Because the bad guys always win. There are a lot of black men in nursing homes dying alone. There are a lot of homeless women out there on the streets dying alone. There are more homeless women out there than there are homeless men. There are a lot of homeless mothers out there. So at least when you say that, and I'm just going to take you at your word, while you say that, these men got to the end of life with no burden. At least say that, because now you're burdened by yourself. You know, black men out-earn black women, by the way, while you're saying that. Yeah, go look it up. So for our uneducatedness and everything like that, because I know where you're coming from next, we make more money than you. So while he's at that nursing home that costs some money, dying alone, while he's at that nursing home, dying alone, won't you go down there to the homeless department? Why don't you go down there to your local women's shelter and look at all the women that's there? And then tell me if you want to have that conversation again. I doubt it highly. Because for that one man that you pointed out in that nursing home, or that lot of men, there are many of women that are out here. I work for state government, and I talk to them daily. They have a lot of regrets. Everybody dies with regrets. What are you talking about? I have regrets right now. We all have regrets. That's a human thing. And I got regrets that, hey, man, I shouldn't have ate that. But now I'm hunched over the toilet or I'm sitting down on it. Regret is a human thing. What are you trying to say exactly? Don't try that here, because trust and believe any and everything in what you say, and I accept it, I can destroy that. So once again, trying to shame, trying to insult, trying to guilt. They say a lot of, yeah, and a lot of women say that too. And a lot of you women do this BS. You judge off the man who was on top of you at the highest order when you should be judging off the man who got you pregnant, or the man that you either married and left, or the man that you should have married but you didn't have enough gall to because he didn't see you for that. There is many of women, and we can go talk to them all day. What was the highest grade of men that you ever was with? Oh, I was with a doctor. But did he stay? No. Did you get a ring? No. No, 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 no. That never happened. I can't say that happened. I can't. You're not giving another point of view. You're just giving an obvious point of view. These are talking points that y'all always bring. And that's perfectly fine. But when I do rebuttal, you got nothing to say on that. So you'll cling to your guns. And that's perfectly fine. You can disagree with everything I'm saying. But one thing you can't do is you can't deny what I'm talking about. So when you say your government stuff and everything like that, talk about the number of women that are in every single category of poor that trump men. Talk about the levels of women who marry men to get out of debt. Because majority of the debt belongs to the woman. When she marries, she typically comes with more debt than the man does. And the man who has the debt typically has debt for trying to go for it all when the women try to go for stability, hence counselors, hence communication directors. They never look at the money. They never look at the STEM programs. This is why women don't dominate in fields that actually pay the highest, especially in the physical form. Because intellectually you go, man, hell nah. I'm not about to do all that. That doesn't make sense. I'm not about to put my life on the line like that. This is why dangerous jobs pay more. Voilà voici. Привет, меня зовут Nash. Welcome, American Alpha Male. Even though I just spoke some Italian and some Russian. Just showing off a little bit. So when they talk about stuff like this, you have to realize something. It's the angle of, oh, you guys aren't that good like you say you are. That's all that breaks down to a man. You are not as good as you say you are. Whether that was her intent or not, your intent doesn't determine how I take it. Your intent does not determine, whoa, all right. Well, she just said this, but this is how I took it. And this is why men don't complain out loud, because women say stuff like that, not knowing you just threw sand in this man's face and cut his tongue out. Meaning I don't see you and I definitely can't hear you. Don't understand how deep it cuts. Let me ask you this. Where can men go on a national scale to complain about stuff that is truly bothering them internally and spiritually? That place don't exist. But if we go to a place like the Oprah Winfrey Network, we get that all the time. If we hear about talk shows, remember Wendy Williams, all that shit and everything like that, the Ricky Lakes, the Jenny Jones, that wasn't directed at men. It's for the ladies. So I ask you, where's the men's shows? We get these impossible men that I've modeled my life after. Who? The James Bonds of the world, which means you automatically have to just know how to deal with it, know how to do with it. I deal with Medicaid and Medicare. Those men don't have anybody to help them navigate those programs. Once again, kick sand and dirt in your eyes and cut your tongue out. Now that's an insinuation of ignorance. Men don't know how to navigate, but yet he got to the old stage in life, but he didn't know how to navigate. So how the hell did he get to the old stages? Maybe with your Medicaid and Medicare, maybe, like always, the promises weren't kept. You know how men come back from war And the government is supposed to take care of our veterans, but they don't. They make it one of the hardest things to get into. And you'll sit back and you'll say something as crazy as, you just didn't know how to navigate. No, no, no. It's not as simplistic as you're painting the picture. You see, you were trained on how to do your job. They weren't trained on how to be human beings to learn that. So while you say that out of being educated on a job, with all due respect, but don't take it as disrespect, unfortunately, you got trained on that and you got paid to do that. That's what that is. So when you come here, please come a little bit correct. And I know you don't mean anything bad by saying it, but like I said, kick sand and kick dirt in the face and cut your tongue out. There are too many men who don't know where there's help, because one thing that they didn't have that you had more than likely was somebody navigating them in the ways of adulthood. Your degree don't mean nothing. I'm sorry, darling, but your degree don't mean nothing. Your degree means that you learn how to obtain a job and to keep it. That's what your degree means. But I guarantee you, the highest in your degree couldn't reach the top tier electrician that has none of those degrees. Zero. So you put your degrees against all of this stuff. And trust and believe, I used to own a whole entire brokerage in California and in Nevada. I literally have my life insurance license and my health insurance license. And I can tell you, as a licensed agent and broker, your degrees in those fields really ain't as tough as you saying. Yeah, I had those. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not talking to one of those. You're talking to one of those. It's a difference. Trust me. You don't believe me? Hey, I tell you what, we can bet you and your degrees, right? I got about a good amount of money put to the side, so we can do something light, and then we can bet 5,000 on it. And then you can go back and you can look, because I didn't care about my continued education. You know, I didn't care about keeping those going, but I absolutely had them. And I can tell you easily that all you got trained for is how to do a job and talk about programs. If I'm lying, I'm fine. But either way that go, once again, it's kick dirt in your face. It's cut tongue, because you ignorant. I'm supposed to lead you because I learned how to be trained in these things. So I learned how to hit these points. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm immensely educated in this stuff. That's why you couldn't combat exactly my rebuttals. You had to go, instead of answering the questions and the stuff I said, you had to bring in something else. It's called moving the goalpost. But the problem with that is I can kick field goals from anywhere on this field. So once again, you want to talk about, I try to help them as much as I can, not with healthcare. I give them knowledge needed to get through the child support system. Once again, if you were that good, I know I'm correcting what I'm saying. I'm 1,000% correcting what I'm saying. The only thing we have is, like in Sacramento, you got centers for fathers and families because they forgot about the men. But once again, fellas, avoid the need to be right women. This is a prime example. 100% prime example. Avoid those type of women. You have to. Because at the very end, it's going to be beating you into submission. Hence why I started the beginning off. They use doctrine to beat you into submission. So they say, oh, well, here's what the book says. So now you have to capitulate to my whimsical needs. Because at the end of the day, I'm right, you're wrong. You're not the man to lead. I'm the woman to lead. Hence you go, I'm your woman king. Listen to me. You don't know what you're talking about. And since you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to tell you, which breaks down to you're stupid. And that might not have been her intent, but I promise you this, I can take her message, what she said, and every man in that room, at least 90% of them go, well, damn, she thinks I'm stupid. But see, she won't listen to men because she's not listening. She's talking and she has to react to what you're saying instead of intaking the information and going, I wonder how he got to that level and how this makes him feel about what I'm saying. So this is why in 48 Laws of Power, we despise the free lunch. Because that's all she's talking about. Because what did I start off saying? I said women, particularly modern women, love free shit from the government. And that ain't nothing but approval of what I just said. This does nothing. In the words of Kevin Samuels, I can't make this shit up. What she just said does nothing but further what I just said. Medicaid, Medicare. These aren't private sectors with your own money that you're paying into. This was part of the problem that people had with the quote unquote Obamacare, aka Affordable Act. Because they thought, and part of it was true, that they were going to start getting rid of the stuff that you wanted. And granted, as you get older, this is how insurance companies think. I know because I was a part of one. They say the older you get, the more of a risk you are. This is the straight up con that they do when they try to tell you something like get term life insurance instead of whole life. Because whole life means 100 years. And then the day you become 100, we give you your money. Because once you look at that contract, you mean to tell me, once I get 55, from that day forward, the premium every year goes up by like $100 to $200 in order for me to get this $1 million term life policy? Are you kidding me? When if you would have said something simple like, well, you know what? My true power and my true impact will come from my lessons in which I taught my kids, from the house in which I bought. While you're trying to gift your kids $1 million while you die, the $1 million is what you gave them in education through sagacity, which means wisdom. They don't tell you that. This is why a lot of billionaires say, I'm only going to leave my kids a little bit of money, and the rest of it, Bill Gates, the rest of it is going to all of the charities. Because my kids, I think even Jackie Chan said it, my kids should take the life lessons that I gave them. Stop wasting your money on bullshit like term life insurance. Get you some whole life insurance. Yeah, it's going to probably cost about $50 for about $50,000 to $70,000 worth of life insurance. Absolutely. But as long as you get buried or cremated in something nice, fuck everybody else. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're smoking, you're drinking, everything like that, all you got to do is make it to the 2 years. God forbid. But at the closeness to when you get to the end, if you do it yourself, your policy still gets paid out after 2 years. Now, that's something that she can't tell you because I'm immensely educated on this, because I know what I'm talking about. I don't speak from a standpoint of, I guess. No, it's I know. And then what happens is your whole life policy actually builds equity because it's money that you put in. But I would tell you don't touch it. What I would tell you is this. Whatever bank that you get your whole life policy out of, get you some stocks. Get you one share every month. Because what's happening is as you put that money into that whole life policy, You're giving money to them to take that money and with their smart investors to help grow their bank, double back and get some ownership of that company. That's all a stock is. People have to stop taking the word stock and just saying it is stock and go straight for the definition. What do you mean? Well, definition means this. You are a tiny percentage owner of that bank, no matter how small the stock is. If you're willing to bet that at the end of your life, that bank will still be standing, shouldn't you own a piece of that? The younger you are, the better for whole life. That's what she means is you're not at risk more to die. Younger you are, you're not at risk more to die. The older you get, the higher you are at a risk to die, because it used to be, and I haven't looked at the numbers, it used to be women die at the age of 72 and men die at the age of 70. I think it got knocked down to men die at 68 and women die at 70, and that's due to that disease. And how it came through and it knocked out a lot of people. I'm not here to push conspiracies about that. That is not the channel for this. So I know what she's talking about, because technically she's right, because it's a risk assessment analysis. That's how the insurance companies do it. They type you in as a number. They look at your behaviors, ergo smoking or drinking, and dangerous activities. This is why they have accidental insurance as well, as to be added on to there. And it typically costs like $10 per. And then you max out at sometimes 20,000, sometimes 50,000, sometimes 100,000. This is accidental death, dismemberment, and a bevy of other things. So that's what she means, because your risk analysis, zip codes as well, yes, that plays a factor, but not into whole life. That typically goes for properties, because you're not a house, you're a human being. You can leave. Hence why you can take your whole life policy that you might have bought in October, that you might have bought in California, and move your butt out there somewhere to Maine, and all you got to do is still pay money on that life insurance policy. And as long as you are current in your payments, it doesn't matter where you got it, because you could take it anywhere. So in all candor, you said it the wrong way, because typically they base that stuff on your behaviors. And since you own a house and you're not beholden to that quote unquote bad zip code, hence why it works typically stuff like that for property insurance, for auto insurance. That's hella funny. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. So once again, I know what I'm talking about, because I used to do this stuff. I had a good 2-year run when I was getting off the streets and everything like that. But I started realizing, bruh, I'm going to have to lead my youngins. I'm going to have to do it this way. I'm going to have to look like them and everything like that. I had to put myself out there, because I am a leader of men. But I'm able to cross the sectors of the hood to the manhood. This is why I'm able to talk like this. It's all by strategy. Hence why I talk about money plays and money moves and longevity with my cats that's in the streets, because what happen is, if you put on a suit, you no longer look like them. You no longer are one of us, because you look too different. I don't believe you were ever here, even though you grew up with us, even though you did all that bad stuff. You'd be surprised how many stupid diss videos come out saying, oh, bro, you ain't got no felonies. Yeah, because I did all that dumb shit at 11 years old all the way up until 15. To when 15, I got stung by the law. But actually not 4 misdemeanors, 3 misdemeanors and 1 felony. When the judge told me, if you don't maintain a 3.0 or if you ever dirty test, you're going to spend 3 years in prison and that felony will follow you. But if you don't, once you turn 18 and a half, we'll drop that felony and all charges will go away. And that's exactly what happened. So I was able to graduate continuation school with a 3.5. And I never was a drug user. Never was a weed smoker. Didn't enjoy alcohol until I turned 21. I always thought it was nasty. Now, certain times I can't get enough of it. Hey, SVN Grams. You got to word that differently, bro, because that can be insulting. That can be extremely insulting. How you should approach that with her is, how do you feel about your journey in life with a spiritual man? That's how you had to ask that, because she could take that absolutely as, you need to get a spiritual man. No, because men had to learn that the way in which we phrase stuff, it can be enduring or it can be endangering. Men mess up a lot, but typically what makes a man is, hey, acknowledge that I messed up and make the corrections. I'm not flawless in this at all. I just know what I know and I know how to do it. If I wanted to, and I can do the pickup artist stuff here. I can simply tell you, hey, men, don't ever approach a woman that you don't know with the intent of getting her number with your shoulders directed towards her. Turn yourself right here so that it seems like you're ready to go. Because the first thing she's going to ask in her mind, if not the first question, the second question is, what do you want? If I'm wrong, which I'm not, I want you to do this. And you can save this, you can screenshot this and go, I'll try this, Nash. Get to a woman that you trust and that you know and ask her how she feels body-wise. And say, how do you feel when I talk to you like this, with your shoulders pointed towards her shoulders? And I guarantee you she say, I feel a little crowded. Then you say, wait, how do you feel when I talk to you like this? She's going to say, not as enclosed, not as crowded. Damn, Nash, how did you learn this? Well, I used to be a pickup artist. And I'm telling you, I learned this through failure. When I had to break down, I had to go, what the hell am I doing wrong? Is it what I'm saying? Wait. I can't even get the conversation. If I can't get the conversation, how do I get the conversation? So it's not my tonality. It's not how I'm looking. Is it the way I'm standing? All right. When I'm standing, when I walked up to her, she kind of backed up a little bit. 6'3". At that time, I was 6'3", 220. Cut the hell up. You can go check my old Instagram post. So it's not that. How about it look like I'm bothering her, but she won't know? How if I'm standing, let me try this. Let me turn sideways towards her. And then kind of lean out a little bit. Should be more receptive. Boom. That got me better conversations because they were more relaxed. Because what you have to do with women, especially ones that you really like, is build rapport. Everything is about rapport. She won't fuck you if she don't feel comfortable with you. She won't give you her number if she don't feel comfortable with you. Even confidence builds comfort because what it exudes is, oh, you've been here before. Oh, you know what you're doing. Oh, you know what to do. A lot of women won't even get back if you say, hey, you know what? I learned this from this dude off of YouTube. He said it helps get girls. And I just wanted to try it on you. You can literally say that. I'm like, all right. I'm down for this little experiment. And literally, that's it. That will increase everything that you want to do. Literally, I bullshit you not. Because once you're crowding, it means I have to be in a defensive mode. If I'm in a defensive mode, I do not feel comfortable. So I had to do defensive mode. And since I'm defensive mode, I had to fight you with my words. Oh, I got a man. No, you don't. Oh, I'm just leaving. No, you're not. I'm waiting for my friends. Where they at? I'm going to try them all on a date. Well, you already got the date. You already got the date. This is so you get the date. If you already got the date, you don't, I mean, but yeah, you should give her a certain amount of distance and do what's called light touching. It's called kinesthetics, light touching. So don't touch her like this, touch her like this. Because if you touch her like this, no, you're not about to bitch slap or anything like that. You want to keep it here to here. You don't want to go here, touch her on her hips and all that shit. And you don't want to go higher than here. For some reason, you touch a woman like this, what the fuck you doing? That type of stuff, like, they will do that. So you want to do like touching typically here to here. That kind of stuff. Don't overdo it. Because if you start taking her, like Ruth Chris, the first date and all that shit, not going to work. Because if she's a gold digger, she going to like that. And even if she ain't, she going to think she should be used to that type of shit. You typically should do something first date activity ridden. So you can get better conversations. Don't whoop her ass either. Don't get her out there and turn Tiger Woods at the mini golf course or turn Mario Andretti at the mini golf cart shit. Don't whoop her ass. Do not do that. Over competitive people with the women that you are supposed to be with isn't supposed to be a thing. You should be able to compete with men at that level. But goddamn, don't destroy her. Nah, don't let her win. Hell nah. Might let her win once. But nah, because then you look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. But you do need to keep it close. Because the good heroic movies typically have a point where you think the hero is going to lose. Remember Avengers? Remember Avengers when the Hulk was getting shot the hell up and he was in the buildings and stuff like that? At that moment, at that very moment, it seemed like the Avengers could lose. That's when it got super interesting. Hence why at the very end with Endgame and Infinity Wars, when Thanos snapped, it was like, oh shit. Because Thanos never gloated. Thanos never gloated. The key thing about Infinity Wars and Endgame literally had a moment where Thanos won again. And he snapped and you went, oh shit. That's why Endgame was so great, was because of that moment. But what people fail to take from Endgame was the reason why they won. That was a whole different Thanos. That was a whole different mindset. He was cocky. He was arrogant. He was brash. He was rude. He even foretold when he sat down, the arrogant never do. When she said, Father, they never expected a thing. The arrogant never do. Not realizing that he foretold it. Remember when he said, I know what it's like to lose. turns the legs into jelly. His legs turned to jelly at that very last time, and then he sat down. They changed him. They didn't win like that. They won because they changed him. So it's those type of things, because the woman has to feel eventually, while she's doing all this stuff, that she has a possibility to win. And even if you let her win, the fact that she got close and didn't win is going to be that much more conversational wise, meaning she is able to say, damn, it was close, but I pulled it out. He's pretty good. But on this 1-1, I got him. It's not bad to allow her to win a battle every once in a while, because the war has to be won. The war. And what is the war? Long-term relationship. I'm not going to preach marriage as much as I used to because of the risk. Because of the risk. And the risk is simple. The risk is, I got all this stuff that you can take, and if you leave, it could absolutely destroy me. Too many women go, you wasted 3 to 4 years of my life and all this shit. And then the man goes, well, you took 10 to 15 years of my investments, which is my life as well. There are many women who don't understand this, but every guy can, from a simple standpoint that a man named Richard Pryor said. And he said something to this effect. When the relationship ended, when the marriage ended, she took everything except for the blame. She took everything except for the blame. And that's what hurt the most, because the disappointment truly was hers. Because she divorced because of irreconcilable differences, even though your vows don't say shit about happiness. Because women forget to fall in love, or modern women forget to fall in love with duty. Because she don't understand what she's supposed to bring to a relationship. She goes off all these failed ass women, from aunties to sisters to cousins, sometimes even mamas. Because what women don't understand is this simple ass thing. Yeah, your mama might have taught you how to cook and clean. Absolutely. She might have had a bunch of uncomfortable sexual conversation with you. But in her milk and honey of life experiences, she poisoned you with imagery of men who hurt her actually are. And once women can say that shit, they can go, oh, I fucked up. Majority of women have that one love in their life in which they lost. And instead of going, I want to find a man like that, they'll search for that exact man into men who look like him. And then that man will do something that he never agreed upon, that that woman won't ever say out of her mouth. But I got you. And what is that? It's simple. It's majority of these men don't live up to the standards in which you created by yourself, which basically matriculates into this. One of the worst things that people can do, aka men to women, is not live up to her expectations. Though you never sat down and pinned it with her, though you never sat there in her childhood with her Barbie doll dream house and her Barbie doll and her Ken doll, she planned a whole entire future for you and you had no fucking idea. While you was out there playing cops and robbers or cowboys and Indians or trying to be whatever it is, you want to be like Mike and all this, you had no idea while she was sitting in the house playing with dolls that she picked you to be the goddamn Ken doll and you had no fucking idea. And so we live in disappointment because that's what she got out of it. And then women expect us to do something that's so irrational and so stupid as to say, well, men just don't know how to communicate, and women are more effective communicators. But yeah, we could come in the house and go, what's wrong with you? And she'll sit there, arms all folded and shit. You should know. But yet, women are the better communicators. Hey, block that right there. Block that girls S for whatever the fuck. Share this on all your social media sites and everything like that. If you got Facebook, share this on there. If you got YouTube, create a story. Now block it. Don't delete it. Block it. Hide user on channel. I'll do it. Yeah, you gotta delete the whole entire thing. They expect to be saved. Yeah, they expect to be saved. Let's get 2 more likes so we can get this video up to 100 likes so we can put this in the damn algorithms. We can put this in the algorithms, by the way. But it's all right. It's perfectly fine. Because part of the problem is addressing you have a problem. Sometimes, ladies, you don't realize you have the perfect man. And sometimes the perfect man in waiting. Because he hits so many boxes. And then on top of that, can any woman actually say that you got an exit interview to where you heard pure criticism from your ex, where you didn't fight him on what the hell he thought about experiencing you? You see what I'm saying? Ask your ex, man, how was it dating me? Don't give me the positive, give me the negatives. And watch you learn something. Watch you absolutely sit back and go, what the hell? I never knew that. Hey, what did content creator do? Don't do that. He didn't do anything. Yeah, you said it. He said I didn't need it. Then why did it end? Then why did it end? If it was so perfect, why end? See, there's truth in not hurting your feelings, and then there's truth in hurting your feelings. So more than likely, that's the reason why. Because some people believe that you can't handle the truth. Because what it'll do to your motivation, what it'll do to your ego, what it'll do to you from an inner perspective, which then bust out to an outer. A lot of people don't want to depress you with information, so they hold it back. There is a bevy of things, and I'm not going to go into conspiracy, but there are a bevy of things that the government has to keep from us, because as a whole, we couldn't take the truth and accept it. And it is what it is. You had too many expectations and he wasn't living up to them. I apologize for my selfishness. Oh, he said I didn't need him. Oh, I read that wrong. My bad. See? And I could kind of, I can kind of see that. I can definitely kind of see that. See, ladies, typically sometimes when y'all race to life, y'all forget that men absolutely want these 2 things. They want to feel wanted and they want to feel desired. They want to feel appreciated and they want to feel desired. I had to switch it up for the first ones because some people might not understand that. Sometimes when you say thank you, break it down a little bit more for why you're thankful for what he just did. And sometimes play damsel in distress. Make him feel useful. He'll love you harder for that. Because then he'll feel like, I have a place here. Holy hell. Because some of y'all forget that you make a man feel like, man, why am I here? Man, she gonna leave. If she gonna leave, I'm going to jump the boat. Because who the hell wants to be in this boat? Who? How does this work? And if I'm not needed here, then it's just a matter of time. And since it's a matter of time, I'm going to become a version of myself that you will accept, but it's a shell of myself. It's a fake front. It's a paper moon. Now you on the outside may be thinking everything is all right, and yet you didn't even realize it. Because there is no holiday typically for men. We get the less always. They even did this bullshit where they said you feed your kids first before you feed your man, which is stupid. Because I'm about to praise these kids who bring nothing to the table except for hungry bellies and attitudes and entitlement. When you feed your man first, when you don't eat until dad gets home, you acknowledge his presence as the leader of this household, because we have been told this is Big Mama's house. All the while forgetting that Big Papa or Big Daddy or Pa or Pawpaw paid for this shit. And so that man will drift off. And when he dies alone. But him dying alone, he's forgotten. And then we lie on society and we call it patriarchal. But we forget that in that society, and you call it patriarchal, you're saying women can't do a damn thing. When I could have sworn that women can still get jobs, they can vote, they can do everything a man can do for the most part. As far as the world is concerned, from the aspect of American women to the rest of the world. But they don't see it that way. And this is why a lot of men split from women, because once we start talking about human needs, basic human rights, the women venture off and say, well, what about women? Well, hold on. Let us get this stuff first before you divest from the game plan. It's like, hey, we're going to go ahead and take care of this right here. Oh, whoa. Stop. Stop your program. Let me get this out of there first before y'all get all y'all shit. This is what it sounds like. May not be your intent, but what it sounds like is, fuck y'all. Let me get this shit first and then come back. I did a live stream. I'm not going to say her name, but I did a live stream about a week ago with a woman. And she was asking me, well, what are you doing for the youth? And I said, well, I'm sponsoring a boxing gym in Philadelphia. I've given thousands of dollars. Not a tax write-off, just giving out of my own money. She took those words, heard it, and I said, a boxing gym for the children. And she went, well, what are you doing for the little girls? Even though the boys are out there being killed, have no safe haven and none of that shit. The little girls are typically held in the household. Typically, if you have an older daughter, she's watching the kids and shit all the time. Sometimes she wants to go out and everything like that. But it's the young men who are dying. So the need is for who? The boys right now. So that they can have a father figure to look up to, because fathers are needed in the household. But she decided to try to tell me what the fuck to do with my money. Her who never put a dime in none of this shit I got going. If you support what we're doing, man, and you support the messaging and everything like that, the Cash App is $ Seti Nash. And If you like the messaging and stuff out here, because I'm more than likely not gonna monetize this channel, so it'll be purely run out of donations. If you feel we got going on and everything like that, support what we got going on. If you don't, then you don't. You don't have to. That's perfectly fine too. You'll still get the dope messaging and everything like that. But it was stuff like that. And I just looked at how selfish that was, because if it was little girls running around here killing and shooting up shit and everything like that, then yeah, I would. But the fact that I'm helping provide a safe haven for these young men, I'm supposed to stop what the hell I'm doing from a house that I'm building, which she had nothing to do with, which I've been doing this for a while. She was, well, what's the success rate of the kids? I said, well, they've been to nationals. Yeah, they've been to nationals. That means the highest of the highest. And some of them have won. They invite me all the time to the tournaments and everything like that. I'm just too busy with work. And they, oh, well, you need to do something for the girls. No, I don't. It's not my job. No, I don't. No, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing for these young men because they have nothing. They have nothing. They don't have no man to look. And I told her this. When a man looks at his son, he looks at what he used to be. When a son looks at his father, he looks at what he can become. Hence why a daughter will sit there, look at her mom in the kitchen, pick up things, and you'll sit her ass down and go, I want to teach you something. I want to teach you something. And then that daughter will absolutely blow your goddamn mind and go, I already know how to do it. I watched you. Ladies, if you had daughters and you might have tried to teach her how to cook something and she already knew it, instinctively, she watched you for what she can become and what she should be. But there is millions of homes right now in America with sons who have no man to look towards. So he don't know what his father is. And he don't know how to travel the maze of masculinity and maturation because he has no compass. A man is a compass to a young boy. And this is why I always preach we need to get the men back in the households. Typically, the men get tired. So they back away and they falter and they jump out of the way. They'll let you go ahead and do all this shit and let you fail until you go, I just can't control Junior. He just won't listen to me. He listens to you. Why does he listen to you and he don't listen to me? What are you telling him about me and all this stuff? Why won't he? Why won't he? And it's not because his daddy told him nothing. It's because his daddy ain't there to reinforce it. And that's where we mess up at. And this just isn't a black issue. Hence why this channel is not a black only channel. And then we sit there and we listen to a lot of women say dumb shit like, oh, we need more mentors. No, we need more fathers. You hear the story of LeBron James, which is bullshit. LeBron James stayed with his coach. His mama and him stayed with his coach. His coach was his daddy. But you never hear his coach brought up in that light because they don't look at it like that, even though that's what the hell it is. You don't hear LeBron James go, shout out to my father, not my dad. Shout out to my father, my coach. None of these football high school coaches, none of these basketball high school coaches, none of these baseball high school coaches ever get the credit they deserve for being fathers. Because y'all think that small amount of money that they get from the school is just enough. You have no idea what these men had to deal with. How they helped your child keep his goddamn life on track. They told him, don't go this way, go that way. Don't your ass go on these streets, go run that track. When you pissed off, go smack this right here. This is why I don't preach that shit for mentors for little boys. I will preach it for grown men, because grown men will acknowledge their mentors. I never met Jim Rome. I never met Zig Ziglar. I have met Les Brown. I never met Avery Brooks. I never met Patrick Stewart, Daniel Craig. But those are the most influential men in my life. But as an adult, I can admit that. These were the men that I was looking for. John Hamm, who played Dick Whitman in Mad Men. These men are the ones in which I learned, hey, this is the type of man that I want to be. Because there wasn't a man to look at me and go, hey, this is what you're supposed to be. Because they did something that I did. You know, Daniel Craig, I'm talking about James Bond. But they did something for me. I didn't have a man doing all that because I understood, and I never blamed my biological father for shit. As far as if anything went wrong or anything like that. I'm being honest with you, content creator. So while you're sitting there trying to troll or whatever and everything, the funny part is I'm being honest. And while you're sitting there trying to lie to yourself, I can sit here and go, laugh all you want. But homeboy, in life, I'm killing it. I'm still accepted in my section. I can still walk through my hood, head held high. I can still say cuz. I can still do all these things. I can still go get 30, 20 gang members. Look at that. Zion Williams didn't give credit to his stepdad who taught him and coached him to play. Yeah. They never do. Because they haven't been taught to look at mentors as fathers. That's their mother's fault. Because society has determined you're a mentor. You're a mentor. You're a mentor. They never get taught that. Shaq always thanked his stepdad. Yeah, Shaq is worth like $300 million too. Shaq know what he doing. But ladies, I would ask y'all this. If you got at least 5 female friends, right? Take this video, send it to them. Preface this by saying, I want you to listen to this and don't react until it's finished. And I guarantee you'll agree with him. And then share it with 5 of their friends to do the exact same thing. Fellas, any man or boy or teenager that you know needed to hear all of this stuff, do the exact same thing and say, hey, man, if you got a job working long hours, I got the fastest way to pass at least 2 hours of your time. And now, once they do that, they'll binge watch all the other ones. There is no lesson that I will give, provide. I don't like to say teach, really. But I will give or provide that is the exact same stuff. So when you go over on this channel, if you subscribe and you check it out, as you go over and look at the other videos, you'll be like, oh, man, he's right. There are no videos that are alike because I do quantity over quality. This is why I can post on this channel and then turn around and not post on this channel. So there are some of you right now who are at work or about to start work, and you listen, you go, damn, this is pretty good. I want some more. I got you. Already laid it down. Already had this set up for y'all. And as long as we keep growing, I won't monetize the channel. As long as we probably hit a goal in Cash App or super, it only had to be Cash App. I ain't gonna trip. So y'all can hear this without commercials. This is for y'all. When we talk about getting our communities back. Did I say that wrong? Quality over quantity. My bad. If I said that wrong, then my bad. Yeah, if I said that wrong, my fault. Quality over quantity. If I said that wrong, my apologies. That definitely was not it. And then on top of that, what we'll do is, I think you said it backwards. It's possible. It's possible. It's very possible. But there'll be videos and stuff like that. Well, I'll interview some people and everything like that. Well, I'll definitely bring in some bankers, some businessmen, some firearms instructors and everything. We can build an alpha army. It's not that hard. Look at the other channel. That other channel by next Tuesday will be at 120,000. Check it out. 120,000 subscribers. See what I'm saying? And do 1.5 million. That is a sitcom. You see what I'm saying? That is a successful sitcom. And it's all because of people like you. The ones of you who came over from that channel, what you seen was intellect and then intent. And I get it with the rap news and all that, but I promise you, within the 10-year mark, this channel will be way bigger. But I know Rome wasn't built in a day. Seti Nash speaking positive information. Absolutely. And I'm going to be honest, not on no race stuff or anything like this, but I grew up with some white people. I grew up with some black people. I grew up with some Asian people. I grew up with some Hispanic people. And I am telling you, men, y'all problems pretty much are the same. Security and longevity is what every man wants. Don't give a damn about all that. And you want to have a culture that teaches your ideals. But if we can't get into agreements, then we will never look at somebody's other side of the spectrum and go, hey, bro, explain that to me. No. Explain to me why you feel that way. Because you're going to listen to understand. Right now, we stay in a place where it's always been a difference of opinion on political spectrums, on the way in which people should live life, anti this, pro this. I'm not going to speak on what it is. Whatever you are, I don't give a shit. Don't bring it here. Because we speak in commonalities. Because the more divisiveness in which we spread, we're going to realize that we got a bunch of soft-ass kids growing up. A bunch of entitled-ass kids. And I don't give a damn what part of the spectrum you work on. But nobody wants entitled-ass kids. We need production. We need to be able to say, you know what, man? We got this American Alpha Male channel. We got this Alpha Army shit. Hey, bro. Seti Nash said we're going to set up a goal and literally go down and meet these instructors. I want to get back to teaching our kids how to farm, how to properly defend themselves, how to sit there and build. Your son should know rudimentary male stuff, how to change oil, how to change a tire, how to fix shit in the house. We should be able to take this channel almost, I think we got 3,000 subscribers. We should be able to save that money. We put in the GoFundMe so can't nobody touch this shit. And go, hey, you, explain it to me. as a man who don't know everything and explain it to my son so we can practice this shit at home. Do you know the skill of knowing how to build a roof will save you $20,000? I know because I know how to build roofs. I know what the hell we was charging. I used to be a roofer. I know how to get the plywood. I know how to step. Yeah, but even if getting a loan, you still have to write a business proposal. So T Rizzle, it's not just about saying this. It's about understanding what you're saying. And I'm not coming down on you or anything, but this is the level of thinking which we had to do. We had to stop asking what and why and start asking how. This is how we get from this cusp of what masculinity is supposed to be to what masculinity is. And this is what my ultimate goal is. Because at least if we can go, well, I'm black, I'm from Nigeria. Oh, I'm white, I'm from England. Oh, I'm Hispanic, I'm from Colombia. That's all cool. You give a shit. Are you a man? Are you here in the land of the free, home of the brave? I don't give a shit about a lot of stuff that happened in the past. Look at where we're at now. And then for those who look at where we're at now, they forget to look at where we came from. It's only that simple. But the problem with simplicity is how you explain it. It's how you explain quote unquote simplicity. So now we can go to step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Then once the channel gets big enough to like 100,000, then we'll have to commercialize it. But then you're going to make an investment. We'll do it just like the military. There'll be levels to this shit. It will be. If you pay $10 here, you'll get this much. You'll get $10 worth of your investment. If you pay $20 here, you'll get this amount of investments. We will teach literally how to build credit is easy. I taught it on the last video that I did. If you go back to my last video that I just did. This channel should have way more subscribers. The problem with that is it's word of mouth. This is why you didn't see a Popeye's chicken commercial because people were talking about it. People were telling you how good it was. And then people stopped talking about it and they kept on eating it. And then it started getting sold out. So then you had to start wondering, even though nobody might have talked to you about it, it's still in your mind. What do you mean it's still in my mind? It's still in your mind. What's in my mind? That Popeye's chicken sandwich. And now you're going to want to get it, not because you really give a damn about it. Man, what are everybody talking about? Now you're going to get people who are going to look at this channel and they're going to diss and they're going to say a bunch of disrespectful shit and everything like that. And you're going to feel the need to want to say, man, F all that. I want to go out there and on their channel and I'm going to disrespect them and everything like that. Don't fight that war. They want your attention. They'll say something so stupid like, oh, look at his hair. Oh, look at his beard. That's cool. But don't know secretly, I'm seeing every man with a beard and dreads is not some random thug and shit like that who is dumb as hell. It's gonna happen. Well, why don't he wear a suit? Why does he dress like this? Why does he do this and why does he do that? That's perfectly fine. Not even knowing that typically it's going to be a growing session. But that's cool, because one day we'll do this. I'll come up dressed like this, and the Alpha Army will go, hey, we raised $20,000. We raised $20,000 to give a scholarship. What? Yeah. Over here, we raised $20,000 to give a scholarship to a STEM program for a kid who was trying, where the criteria will be, I need to see from freshman year to senior year, a natural progression. It's not going to be you a straight A student. You can be a B- student, a C+ student, but you came from Fs. You went from Fs your freshman year to a couple of Ds and a couple of Fs. And then by your junior year, them Ds started to become Cs. And then your senior year, those Cs started to become C pluses and B minuses because effort. And that's what happens. A lot of people just want to be acknowledged for their effort. And that effort is a cup of water. What does that cup of water hold? Another opportunity to keep growing, because we don't know what you can be. And that's the goal. But that's a 2-hour mark. I appreciate you all, man. If you haven't left a like and I haven't gotten it now, I got to ask you, why the hell not? If you haven't shared this with at least 5 people that you feel need to hear this, why be that selfish? And if you got this video shared to you and you learned something, do the same thing. Just share it with 5 people and tell them, just watch the whole entire thing. I just did a whole 2-hour live stream, but I knew I had to do this because I had 1,700 people. So thank you all.